The Square Ball Podcast.
And we're up and running with this week's propaganda. Welcome to the show. Brought to you in association with
Leeds Solicitors.
Look at you! You're all giddy at you because we won at the weekend.
It's good, feels good, doesn't it?
It does feel good. Do the sell.
Don't need a will because I'm going to live forever. Mm-hmm. No, it's not true, actually. Do get a will. Get it from Leeds Solicitors.
Yep.
That's what I'd say.
Well, what's the incentive? Give me an incentive.
10% off.
Yep. Discount on your legal fees. LeviSolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Don't let the crowd down.
Will's Probate and Conveyancing.
There you go. Will
Thank you very much. Good night.
Yeah. Please do check out Levi Solicitors for your legal services. 10% discount on your legal fees on Will's Probate Conveyancing and all the other stuff, such as, Michael?
Oh, the business stuff, the personal stuff, the dispute resolutions, the negligences.
The employment law.
The employment law.
It's all there, isn't it?
Yep.
Under one roof. LeviSolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Propaganda then. This is the show where we find out what's been said in the football world. We concentrate obviously heavily on Leeds United. And
particularly when we win.
Yeah. These are so easy to do when we win. Aren't they so easy to do when we win? Should we start off with should we call it the fun and joy mix? Is that what we're going to bill it as?
Yeah, because everyone was delighted with that.
This is how bloody happy we are.
Oh, fucking hell, get in. I've waited so sodding long for that win. Last win I saw my dad were in fucking, maybe March, under Gracia at Ellen Road, and I've been to so many fucking shit games, and for us to finally just win was unbelievable. God, we're good. Fucking brilliant.
Are you watching Jesse Marsh? That's what you get when you have a proper manager managing the team. Absolutely amazing. We're playing football again. It's wild that it's so easy, apparently. Daniel Farke, brilliant. Wunderbar. Keep it up.
Fucking roots there. Fuck me. It was there all the time, wasn't it? Just had to come out. And Purdue, yet again. Strauch. There's no point going on. Just fucking superb. I'm going to get drunk. No, I'm not. I'm going to get fucking bollocksed.
That was just mega. That was just fun, entertaining. To see Rutter with a smile on his face, have a striker who could score goals, playing teams off the park. I mean, the Championship can be fun. Leeds can be fun. I've got a feeling Farke's building something, and the atmosphere after the game, I think, kind of proved that.
Like the Millwall game, it was just a day where everyone seemed to play well. Meslier made that save at the end. Strout was tidy throughout. Kamara reminded me of Forshaw, just keeping things ticking over, looked like a metronome. Jadon Anthony got his first goal. Joel Perreault scored again. Dan James is just really fucking fast. But could Sam Byram on a free transfer turn out to be the best business we did all summer? He's just quality. He's somehow right-footed but also left-footed. He rose like Van Dijk to head in. He looks like a Premier League player.
Just back at the room, feed a gargle at the match. What a game. I'm absolutely wrecked. So I think I'll head back into town and make it worse. Onwards and upwards. Let's do it again.
So I don't want to put this out in the universe because the football gods are vengeful, but we have so much quality on the bench now that even with the anxiety of going in 0-0 at the break and thinking, oh, is this going to be one of those matches where we give up the goal in the 89th minute and lose 1-0? And instead it's bringing Anthony off the bench and going up 3-0. We have the depth and the quality that when you look at what we have to fight against, that there's no reason to believe that we're going to concede points. And sure, we will at some point, but we're just good.
You know how I felt about the game? Tens across the board.
Dangerous words in there. Dangerous words. Leeds can be fun.
Can be fun.
Can be.
It was great fun.
I had a really nice weekend. Did you enjoy it, Rob?
I picked a bad game to miss, didn't I? And by bad game, I mean a great game. I did watch it back yesterday. But yeah, I was at York Races, so I missed all this fun, which is just an expensive way to get pissed, really. Well, let's be fair, I didn't spend too much. I basically won back what I put in.
Oh, not bad.
So not too bad.
Well, whereas I lost money because obviously I did my standard £5 bet on the opposition, didn't I, pre-match? Down the toilet.
Did you put a bet on when Leeds went 1-up?
Correct. That was oh, God. I think I did another £2 or something.
What's wrong with you? You're going to lose money this year because we're going to get promoted.
Do you know what? I can lose £10 every week and I'll be like, solid. Absolutely fine with that.
Yeah.
It's going to cost me, well, how many games left?
Quite a lot.
40, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If it cost me 400 quid to see us go up, perfect. I'm more than okay with that.
Okay.
Would you pay 400 quid to see us go up?
I'd rather pay nothing and see us go up, which is probably what I'm going to do.
I was going to say, how much is your season ticket, though? You sort of do pay upwards of that.
I do feel like
that's the entry thing, yeah.
I sort of justify it to myself because I'm still on my 20-year one, so it feels free.
Right.
So it's free for me to go to Ellen Road every single week, is the way I think of it. So I need to tax myself.
What did you make of it then, Rob?
We were great. Again, just really, really good. Jorginho Rutter, I thought he could have some use for us this season, but I really didn't see this coming, that he's essentially Ronaldinho. It was piss-takingly good, I would say.
We do have some more clips of Rutter coming up, actually.
Is it a Rutter loving, is it?
A Rutter loving.
Is this clip number 2 that we've got here? Let's. Should we dive into this then? Because I don't know, I felt joy by proxy, I think, through Jorginho Rutter, just seeing how happy he was over the weekend, and I think everybody's pretty happy with him.
Hey, yo, Scott White, the Kentucky Yorkshireman. Hooray! Wee! 3-0. Love it. All right. Listen to the match ball. Dan, you're lucky that Moscow corrected the record because Rutter has nothing to be redeemed about. All that crap, all that noise, all that stick, all that just anger and frustration that's been leveled at Orta for the signing when that's not what we needed, spilled over entirely onto Rutter, and he undeservedly got all kinds of crap and stick over it. It's time for you two boys, Dan and Michael, to apologize for all the crap you've been giving Rutter.
I just knew Rutter would come good this year. I know it's a drop down from the Premier League, and I know we paid like a massive fee for him, but that's not his fault. He's super young, came into a complete basket case of a situation when he joined the club, and he just maybe needed a bit of structure and a bit of love, a bit of support around him, rather than all of these players who didn't really care if we stayed up or not and wanted to leave, and it was probably a very toxic environment for a young player to develop. And I just think he needed to be put in a good structure, in a good situation, and I think he is going to be our best player, apart from Ampadu, who's been amazing as well.
So I've had 24 hours to soberly and calmly reflect upon Saturday's game, and I just wanted to say that aside from being the obvious choice for Hero of the Week and a future Ballon d'Or winner, is it just me, or is Georgie Rutter the sweetest little bean who has ever put on football boots?
Just regarding Rutter's celebrations, he's obviously been explained to him that Rutter is a stag, what stags do when they're fighting each other, when they're trying to mate. And I reckon the lads have had a word with him, and he's realised what it is, and he's used that as his new goal celebration, which is genius. I love him.
Never thought of that.
I didn't either. I didn't do it this weekend. That was post Millwall, I think.
Yeah.
Was he doing his stag?
We got a lot with Millwall, didn't we? We got the stag, and we got the tennis/water polo, or whatever it was. But we need to. I mean, it's all taking a serious turn. It's a shame, isn't it? Because Scott White, the Kentucky Yorkshireman, I don't know if he's been sat on his porch, firing his shotgun into the air, drinking his bourbon in Kentucky, just imagining things that we've said, because we haven't ever done dirty on Rutter, have we, me and you? Like, I think
so.
He's clearly a good player. I always said there's a player in there, and actually took stick for saying that at the time. Clearly a talented young man, but he was the wrong player at the time we needed a striker. I think Moscow touch on it maybe in his match report by saying that we might still be in the Premier League had we signed Joel Pirro instead of Rutter. But do you know what? I'm really glad we got both of them now.
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think with Rutter, I was always prepared to give him time because you don't really have any option, do you?
Yeah.
We just did overpay for him. And I still think, even now, seeing what he did at the weekend, we still overpaid for him. Like, it's a hell of a fee. He's got an awful lot to do to justify that sort of money, because it was a club record is a huge thing.
I suspect that part of the problem is that,
if indeed it was a club record.
Well, yeah, this is it. And I wonder if there was a little bit of posturing around the fee, because I think the fee is somewhere, it's sub 25 that we paid for him. So when you frame it like that and you see that sort of end product, you go, well, bloody hell, that's not a bad deal. But it'll rise to 35 whatever the incentives might be. But I think from a political point of view, it probably looked better for the club to say we've signed this guy on a club record fee. Look, we've gone out and we've spent the money in January that like you were asking us to, and then it was just spent in the wrong area. I mean, because I don't want to ever fall back on what Sam Allardyce said, but he saw a player who was completely shot of confidence and didn't use him at all in that run-in, and maybe he should have done, but that's a completely different discussion. But I'm delighted for him, and I always felt bad for him because young man, moving country. I'm not sure if the story is to be believed that he didn't necessarily want to move in January, but it was too good a fee for like Hoffenheim to turn down and stuff. So either way, it looks like it's working out for the best. And as was mentioned in the clips there, it's like just beautiful seeing his little happy face.
And how happy everyone else is for him. Like you saw when he came off against, was it Millwall, where Joffrey, even though like Rutter's been signed to take Joffrey's place essentially, he was grinning his ear off and Joffrey's just laughing his head off at him like, oh, it's great, he's having a great time. And then this weekend, I think it was Perot posting on Instagram about Rutter celebrating his goal. It's just a lot of fun. And I think it's not so much redemption, it's just finding out what he is. Because when we signed him, nobody really knew. He'd not played a great deal of football. And then, even this summer, Farker's coming in and told the board that he don't think he's a striker, he thinks he's probably a right winger. And then he's come into the team and it turns out he is a striker who just does bits of everything and is a load of fun. And also the thing about Farker's quote at the weekend about, he needs to be respectful to opponents and all that. Like the key bit that got missed out of the reporting at the time was that he said, and he did that today. Because I just saw that quote and I was like, oh, don't be such a killjoy. But then actually he was like, no, he was great. Yeah. he did it perfectly well today.
He didn't respect the opponents either. He left them all on their ass, all trailing in his way.
I mean, that hot dog as well, when he did the one in front of the away fans down by the West Stand, just...
But both the goals,
when he left the player on his arse, that's what I just really liked.
Yeah, I mean...
It's shame that if he'd have shouted, sit down at him, I would have been even happier.
But his play on the other goals, obviously not the set-piece ones, but the other two, like he was just so brilliant. The way he sidesteps people and uses his body to turn it and then has his pace to get away from people. It's, it was joyous. And it's not... I suppose it's not anything we saw him do last year.
He tried it, but I think it was in the midst of a club that was in turmoil. I dare say there was probably more going on behind the scenes than we'll ever find out about. It just didn't. It felt like it was all wrong, and everybody who came in was devoid of confidence. And like the players hated playing at Ellen Road, from what we gather. Just it all just felt wrong. So to transplant a 20-year-old kid into that situation, however old he was when he came in, with a massive fee, a certain amount of reluctance to move, and for whatever reason, he's just got his head straight. And now he can just go express himself. It's like he's found himself. And it's not a redemption arc, actually. The right is, that's the only words I could find. But the story arc is ace. From a kid who just looked completely lost to, within a few months, just expressing himself like that. It's just brilliant, and I love it.
And someone who was, I mean, you could say was out of his depth in the Premier League. If he'd have dropped into Man City's team last year in the Premier League, he could have probably made some quite fun little cameo appearances. But someone who looked out of his depth in the Premier League, if he can have a good season in the Championship, then you wouldn't bet against him doing well in the Premier League, would you, in future? It was just, as you say.
But that's the difference, Michael.
Everything going against him.
You've identified the difference there is that most other teams, when they sign players, would, like, for example, Brendan Aronson, I don't think is a bad footballer per se. I think there's loads of stuff that he needs to work on in his game. He needs to work on his physicality, as the Union Berlin, was it sporting director, said. He needs to be stronger, stop falling over. But there is an inherently talented player somewhere in there. You just need to do the right things to get it out of him. But he was just thrown in at the deep end, another young kid, basically, much like Ruter. Whereas I think other clubs, if he'd gone to a different club, they would have phased him in over time, just used him sparingly, let him get used to the pace and what you can and can't do. And it feels like finally, like with Ruter and a number of other players, are just finding out what the pace of the game is like in this country and what you can get away with. And all of a sudden, he's just found this ability to start turning it on.
And also, crucially, he's got a good manager telling him what to do.
Exactly.
Which helps goes a long way. It was Jamie Shackleton in his official Leeds United podcast appearance. He was saying, well, I just go on a pitch and do what the manager tells me to do. And it's like, it can be that simple, but you do have to have a good manager telling them good things to do in the first place, I guess.
Just telling the goals in the middle.
Yeah, shut up. Should we move on to some other clips then? Watford presumably have had a lot to say. Are they upset? Are they happy? Are they sad? I can guess.
They were mainly just a bit dejected and quite complimentary about us.
Right.
I mean, I saw Watford fans after the beat us in the playoff, and they seemed quite dejected after that, from what I recall. They were all a bit like, all right, yeah, it's good, gone up.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Whereas I think if we'd gone up, we probably would have destroyed Cardiff, wouldn't we?
Yeah, they seem to take it like in their stride in a very low-key way, did Watford fans, I thought, getting promoted. So we'll hear from WD18 first, which I'm guessing is the postcode and not a
lubricating product.
A lubricant of some sort.
Not quite as good as WD-40.
No.
About half as good.
Less viscous.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But they're sponsored by Mad Squirrel, though, which did remind me if anyone's seen the Alistair Green clip of Punk Squirrel, where he's doing like a sort of a mock ad for a craft brewery with it's one of the lines where he just goes, "I'm 43," and does a face. Always stuck with me anyway. But it's a real place in Watford, apparently, is the Mad Squirrel. But they were having a little sad trudge back to their car in Holbeck, up just over the motorway bridge as they're recording this one.
Really difficult one today. Leeds one of the best teams in the league, but Watford were just outclassed all over the shop. Jack, immediate thoughts?
So upsetting. There was no clear game plan. We got played off the park, didn't have the quality. I thought we looked alright at the start of the second half, good changes, but as soon as you score that first goal, there's no coming back from that except we had no momentum the whole game. And it's concerning.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Leeds just tactically just completely got us today. Morgan, do you think we should have set up any differently?
No, I think it's a case of being beaten by the better team. It's always frustrating when that happens, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a shame we're beaten by the better team, and I don't know what we could have done to them.
I just thought Watford showed Leeds a bit too much respect.
That is true, is that teams have been standing off us a lot or sitting deep, haven't they?
I'm surprised by how that's become kind of so entrenched so early on this season that, considering we were in absolute shambles last year, we've come down and it's like opposition teams seem to think we're still like the swashbuckling Bielsa team. And then like Watford's manager after the game at the weekend was like, yeah, we could have offered more. We didn't win any set pieces. And you think, is that what you're trying to do? Just come here and win set pieces? Like, bloody hell. It is, as good as Leeds are, these, like the last 3 games, I just feel like we've played the same team every game. It's just, the Championship is just so much of a muchness.
I quite enjoy that we won 3-0 though, and faced with the question of could we do anything different, just went, probably not. Because normally after 3-0 you would be picking into stuff, wouldn't you? Be going, oh well, we didn't press high enough, we pressed too high, or we should have started with the wing backs to combat this and this. But you just went, nah, we were always going to lose.
And it's a bit like the we heard in the clip from the Leeds fans at the start, where it's like, all right, we're going to take these players off, but we're going to put these ones on. So instead of sitting back and trying to preserve a 1-0 or 2-0, you stick Jayden Anthony on and go get a second and then a third.
He was good, was Anthony, actually. It was a nice little cameo appearance. He didn't say nearly scored, didn't he, ahead of the one he did score. And also, I can't remember if it was pointing it out online as well, but if you sort of squinted a bit, you could fully imagine his goal was Jermaine Beckford.
Right. Yeah, the way they finished it. Yeah.
The cut inside and then out again, and then the curl into the bottom corner, and just the way, sort of similar height and build and everything as well. It's I was quite enjoying that.
What's hilarious is that we are all thinking as well, and Phil even mentioned it on the show on Monday, like, yeah, we've got the better deal out of this than the Sinisterra thing. We've all quietly formed that opinion, but we don't want to vocalise it too much, or we are saying it and we don't 100% mean it just yet, because that's just how football works. We're right, you're wrong.
I think he's probably not as good a footballer, but there is that thing that you just fully expect to hear that Sinisterra's out for 2.5 months, 3 months with a...
Expect or hope?
He's done... Well, I'd hope it's longer than 2 or 3 months, to be honest. Full season would do for me. But yeah, he didn't play a lot, did he, last year? So, and the strength on the bench, I actually just looked, as someone mentioned it in the Leeds mega mix, at our bench the last time, like at the start of the season when we went up under Bielsa, and the bench was, the options there were Alioski, Costa, Davis, Bogus, Clark and Gotts. Mm-hmm. I think the bench now stronger than that.
Costa can't even get on our bench right now.
He can't. Doesn't even know where he is, in fact.
We mentioned Costa to Phil, and he was unsure, actually. They expected him to go to either Saudi or maybe even Turkey or something like that. But
just went, nah.
Yeah.
Stay. Still getting paid, you know.
He's pottering around at Thorpe Arch on his own at the minute, so...
strange existence.
Maybe, I said to Phil, do you think maybe there's a mutual termination about to happen, or does he just sit and wait until January now, like training on his own for several months? You get the feeling that he'll probably maybe seek a termination or something. I don't know.
Can we not just like make him play left back in the 21s or something? At least get some use out of him
and keep him fit. But I guess if Farke's been like, no, he doesn't want to be here. I don't want him around. Send him away. He probably thought playing hardball with him would result in him finding a move, but instead he's just gone, It's fine, isn't it?
Well, I can just get paid and do nothing.
I just run around in Weatherby on my own. Yeah. Where are we going next, Michael?
Ewan's,
yep.
We had this guy on, you might remember him from last time. If you don't remember him, when Marsh beat Hodgson, you'll remember him from his intro because it sounds like this.
I quite like that.
Bit weird. He didn't actually see most of this game because he was trying to watch it on I Follow Watford's thing, one of the ones that you can buy or watch it on.
I mean, even if the clubs repackage it, it's still the iFollow service, isn't it? It's all distributed centrally by the EFL. So
yeah,
I think people...
Leeds then stick our own commentary over the top, which is a couple of seconds ahead as well, which is great.
Yeah, and they haven't yet fixed that one.
Oh, they just broadcast it on YouTube accidentally.
They did do that one.
Good.
Yeah, I think about the £10 match fee as well. People grumbling about that. I think that's the standard across the EFL, isn't it? They all have to agree a same price. So, like, one club can't sell it cheaper than another one, for example, because like if Leeds and Watford sold it for different prices, let's say, then everyone would just buy the cheaper one, wouldn't they? And not put the money back into their own club. So, anyway, that's a discussion for another day, Michael. What's in this one?
He didn't see it, did he?
Oh,
but the bit he did see, thought we were good. They were shit.
3-0 Leeds then, and it was really not a scoreline that they didn't deserve. They certainly deserved to win this game off the bat of what I saw in the second half of the game. And John Marks, who was doing the Hive Live commentary when I was able to get that commentary, actually said when it was 2-0 that the 2-0 scoreline certainly was something that probably didn't represent how dominant Leeds were in the game. So really, that's all you really need to know.
I haven't heard a word he said then. I'm listening to his accent.
It's a weird voice, isn't it?
There's almost moments of hints of Australia, America. Is it New Zealand? It's a bit of South Africa. It's hard to know. He must be well-travelled.
He sounds a little bit like when, obviously it's a speaking version of it, but when an English singer has been in America for a while, and they start...
Like Harry Styles.
They start doing a strange transatlantic sort of drawl about them.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was him. Let's move on.
I do like the name Hive Live, by the way. I think that's a good name for it. Yeah.
That is good. That is clever. Yeah. Shall we hear from Do Not Scratch Your Eyes?
Yeah. Good advice, by the way.
Yes. It's from the commentary of when they scored that goal against Leicester.
Particularly if you've got hay fever, do not scratch your eyes.
Or just generally.
Yeah.
Very delicate, your eyes, aren't they? Yeah. But I did a mega mix because this was about a 2-hour long thing with various callers and stuff. So
did you listen to it all?
I did, yeah.
What? Really?
Slog.
He's actually dedicated to his job.
It's all right, slog. Yeah. There was loads of Watford stuff out there. Same with Millwall stuff. I've been surprised by some of these.
Can I just say?
Poxy Championship bastards.
Proud of you.
Thanks very much.
I think it's probably fair to say the high point has been Daniel Backman's individual performance today, because 3-0 was the least that Leeds earned from that game and warranted. It was the kind of performance from us and the dominance from themselves, because we were so inside ourselves. We were so incredibly insipid. That could have been a 7 or an 8-0, and you'd be looking at that and finding it hard to argue. The fact that they scored the third in the final knockings, as I say, really is the least that they deserved out of that.
They're probably the best team we've faced this season so far, aren't they? By far. They're just a cut above. And yeah, we didn't offer much in return. Like you've said in your introduction there, Backman, really good in the first half. Any other goalkeeper in goal there, we probably would have been on the end of a 6 or 7-0 loss. I think we shoot ourselves in the foot sometimes. It was one of those games that the first half we were under the cosh. The second half, after we'd made the change, we looked as though we'd improved slightly, but it all just fell apart, didn't it? And the defending is just awful. So I'm not going to take too much from that game, because we've just played one of the best teams in the league, I think, and they showed us that.
For me, was that Jorginho fella today.
Yeah, up front.
Is absolutely everything that we need. And that third goal is taking halfway from their half, beaten 2 or 3 players, and then played a ball into someone that's moving. We got none of that in our side.
I think Ampadu is a quality player who should be playing in the Premier League. I think he's better than the player that plays in a similar position that they sold to Manchester City. He is a quality act, totally overrun in midfield. I agreed with the changes at half-time because Kone was having an absolute mare. And second half for a little while, for the first 10, we've maybe created a little bit more, but then they came at us again, and 3-0 doesn't flatter them. And the Daniel Backman knockers out there, without him, I think we could have lost 6 or 7.
All fair. Couple of points to pick up on. Jorginho Ruta, if you want him, yours for... Well, we bought him for 35 million. What we're saying, 50 now?
Double it.
Yep, 70 million pounds. Nice words for Ampadu as well, which it's there's an increasing growing body of evidence that he's bloody good.
Yeah, I must admit, I heard him say that, and I thought, steady on now. But then I thought, actually, yeah, probably. He's playing, whether or not he can do it, we've obviously seen Calvin do it in the Premier League.
I was going to say, he's got that physicality and he's got the Premier League experience.
And for England, but in the Championship, I think Ampadu is playing as well as Calvin did when we were in the Championship last.
I think comparing him to Adams as well. Like, I liked Tyler Adams. I was a Tyler Adams fan until he turned out to be a shitbag. But he, like Ampadu, does all the tackling, but then he seems to be better on the ball as well.
Yeah, he's got a good range of passing, hasn't he? Yeah.
But on Watford's defending, did you see he was playing right back for them?
Do you know what? I've discovered this. Yes, I have since discovered this because one of the podcasts I was listening to had an interview with his dad.
Yes.
Go on then.
His dad is, I can't remember the guy's name.
He's called Ryan Andrews. Do you know who his dad is?
Wayne Andrews?
Yes,
correct.
Indeed.
Oh, really?
And I wrote a blog about Wayne Andrews and Matt DeVries last year, and there was an interview with Wayne Andrews' son Ryan talking about watching his dad play. And he's like, yeah, it's all right. The quality's not there, though. But
the quality's not there, though.
But watching Ryan at the weekend, I think those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, perhaps.
Have you seen Wayne Andrews now, by the way? He's on Instagram.
Oh, really?
He's in fucking great shape.
Yeah.
For a man like in his late 40s or whatever he is.
Yeah.
No, it looks well.
How old is he?
He's doing personal training and stuff, but
Right.
he's...
That'll do it.
Yeah.
If that's your job, being fit, then, you know.
Yeah, you can just stand at the side. Bielsa made everyone fit. He didn't have a six-pack, did he?
Yeah.
Just stand there telling other people to run.
Wayne Andrews, footballer, is 45, so he would actually have been in the same school year as me. A very similar physique.
Go and get your shirt off. Come on. Let's be having him.
Mate, I don't want to embarrass him.
You've lost some weight recently, but I've seen Wayne Andrews on Instagram, and I'm
lost some weight recently. Nearly 2.5 stone, love you know.
Well, get yourself booked in with Wayne.
Let's see Mark DeVries now for comparison. I think they might be slightly different.
He's going to become my benchmark now, is Wayne Andrews. I'm going to see how good he looks. Same age as me, same school year. That's my goal.
Have you seen Neil Shipley? That's a bit more achievable.
I think I was heading that way.
A footballer of a similar era. I would go for that if you want something
Neil
a bit...
Shipley.
I thought you were going to mention something else about
Neil
Shipley.
I forgot. I did. As I said it, I thought, don't do that either. Although we do have a van.
I mean, you don't want to fat shame people, but he's been living his best life since he's retired. I think that's
You've not looked at the news stories.
I don't think that's what we should be shaming Neil Shipley about.
Anyway, let's move on from Neil Shipley.
Oh.
Well, we're on footballers who played in the 90s, actually, from Do Not Scratch Your Eyes. There's a personal tale of woe from one of them who was in Leeds for uni.
I went to uni in Leeds and then I stayed on there. And basically, Majestyk, if it's still open, because it's like Kudos, Destiny, or that place. And the reason why I knew about Majestyk for the first time when I got to Leeds is because my first girlfriend, we had an argument. She went to Majestyk, met Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and slept with him. So good. So definitely don't go Majestyk. That's a true story.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
And I never get to say it because no one really cares. But it's really relevant here today.
He was very good at Leeds. He never failed to score. Anyway, enough of your old girlfriend. Subject number 3.
Yay.
Oh, wow. I did not expect that.
I didn't either.
No. Just for the record as well, what was the nightclub Majestyk has now been turned into Channel 4's new headquarters in Leeds.
Yeah.
Just next to the train station.
Yeah, as you come at the bottom of the station near the Queen's.
Yeah, and it looks like a lovely building now, probably the scene of less seedy goings on than happened in the 90s.
It's where the Bowyer and Woodgate incident began as well, wasn't
it was the genesis point. For,
I did actually, before including this clip, I did check to see that Jimmy Hasselbank hasn't been happily married for 30 years. He certainly married the current Mrs. Hasselbank in 2012.
Yeah.
And his daughters all seem like young enough to have not been around at this when he was in Leeds. So I think it's fine, Jimmy. If it's not fine, shouldn't have done it. Sorry. And you shouldn't have left Leeds.
Yeah.
More importantly, you Judas bastard.
He could have stayed here and started a family with that young lady.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Instead, he just upset a Watford fan.
Where next?
Should we hear from someone who was there?
Yes.
But as a neutral. So this guy's he's a Rangers fan who does little away days at other clubs and stuff. LMC vlogs. He didn't actually talk very much, to be honest. He just showed some clips of
Film
inside
stuff,
the ground.
yeah.
He showed his seat, and he was in with the Watford fans, actually, because it's the only ticket he could get. But he had his broken seat. He had an 8 out of 10 peppered steak pie, so that was all right.
Was that on the wall, or was it in a pie container?
It looked like it was all in his hand.
Yeah, he might have scraped it off the wall.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Just to cool it, I suppose. It was. But he was. Didn't say a great deal, but he did quite nicely capture the "Rocking All Over the World" chant from the away end.
There we are, that is at here at Ellen Road. It has finished Leeds United 3, Watford 0. Good Leeds United display in the second half. Watford weren't great at all. I think they had about one good chance. Other than that, they didn't really have any chances. Remember, I'm not a Watford fan, not a Leeds fan, impartial for today, but what an experience coming to Ellen Road.
Good, wasn't it?
What's good?
I do really like listening to songs, like, you know, when you've been in an away end and then the home team score and the noise just buffets you from all directions, you go, oh, fuck off. It's a little bit like that watching these clips, like experiencing that by proxy when you're in the away end and you hear the home end go nuts. But it's us, we know it's us.
Although I think someone in the Watford end was joining in that chant, because it gets really loud at one point when it goes.
Did you not sing alternative words? No.
I don't know. It sounds like they're just joining in.
I'm guessing they didn't sell their allocation of the bottom tier as well.
No.
That had been Leeds fans.
That was Leeds fans, yeah. In fact, it obviously doesn't come across on audio, but there were some kids turning around and sticking 2 fingers up and that sort of stuff, which is nice to see.
Yeah,
when you got the away fans near you, it's great to turn around and go, ah.
I think I've said before, but I was in that bit of the ground for the Brighton game when Strout scored the last minute equaliser. And it was a really confusing experience because you didn't know whether to sort of face the pitch and cheer or turn around and go, fuck off. Everyone was sort of stuck between the two.
And fuck off, but we are possibly still going down.
But what matters is that bit just there, right? Where next then?
Well, he went, actually. We've not got clips of this, but the guy who was at our game also went to Bramall Lane the day after, which was a treat for him. So he's seen some goals this weekend for the 8-0. So I was trying to find a Sheffield United watch along. In the end, I found only one of them, and it was Sheffield United Way, and it's 2 Americans on it, which was a bit weird for a Sheffield United thing, because I don't think of them as being
Maybe they're from Pittsburgh, Steelers, Sheffield Steelers, Steel,
Steel,
Man of Steel, Superman.
Okay.
Batman.
Meadow Hall.
Yeah.
Just say something from Sheffield.
Just free form association now with things that are from Sheffield. Yeah.
Howard Wilkinson.
Yeah. Paul Beasley.
Yeah.
Should we stop now?
Yeah, go
on. Sheffield. I mean, it was hard not to. I said this like with the show with Phil on Monday. I do not believe we would have lost 8-0 to Newcastle. Obviously, you can never prove it or disprove it, but it did just make me think Premier League a little bit. Because we've been on the other end of a couple of pastings ourselves, haven't we, in the last couple of years, which have not been fun.
We had a 7-0 at Man City, didn't we?
I was going to say we never reached 8, did we?
No. Yeah, and also Man City are, legitimately probably the best team in the world.
Yeah.
And we had loads of injuries, didn't we? And it wasn't. Basically, what I'm saying is when we lost 7-0, it wasn't fair, whereas this was fair.
Okay. Right then, so talk us through what we've got here.
And
then.
it was fair partly because of their manager. But so let's say from Angus before we get going.
Oh, Angus. Okay.
I remember when we hired Paul Heckingbottom, and everybody told me it was a disgraceful decision, a disgraceful hire, and he was a low-level coach and not befitting of Leeds United. And yet 2-3 years later, he's getting Sheffield United promoted on a budget far less than we spent at Leeds United when we got promoted. So
how's that working out?
So Heckie's good.
It's going to get used a lot, that isn't it, this season? I think.
Well, probably not, because I think
he's going to be out of a job, isn't he?
We'll get at least one more go of it, won't we? I noticed Moscow included it in his daily email yesterday as well. So it's going to get used a fair bit.
A stick to beat a man with, right? Okay.
So this, obviously, the game didn't go particularly well for them, and we'll hear from them on that in a minute. But this is actually before the game, and this is how miserable they were before a ball had been kicked.
We're climbing up a slippery slope that we can almost never get a foothold in, and it's just that's what I feel like. This is what, match week 6, so we have 32 more of these games left. I just can't wait until it's over. I just cannot wait until it's over.
Yeah, well, we've got to try to enjoy the Premier League while we're in it. Obviously, the financial side of things, you want to get promoted. Like no club will like turn down promotion. I think that would be interesting if the Championship let the like top teams. Oh, do you want to go to the Premier League? And they say, nah, send someone else. Like, that would be funny. Or like, you know, the 17th or 18th place team doesn't go down instead. Something like that. It'd be interesting. I wonder how many teams would actually take that. Imagine like just winning the championship every year. Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be cool.
Then you never go up. But anyways, you know, that's obviously not how it works. You want to get promoted. You want the money. You want the brand exposure, the TV, you know, slots like this where, you know, you're playing when no one else in England is playing right now. If you want to watch football right now, this is the game you're watching.
It echoes exactly Moscow's comments, doesn't it, about winning the league every year and not going up? And which I mentioned it with Phil on Monday. That actually, you get it, don't you? Now, having seen it from both sides, like we stayed up when they went down, and actually, that's worth just sidelining into that for a second. I think on the day that Sheffield United were relegated, I tweeted something from the Square Ball account, something along the lines of "See ya" with a waving hand, goodbye, and then obviously people have bookmarked it, Sheffield United fans, who then threw it back at us. And fair enough, absolutely fair enough. When we went down and they went up, swapping places. Like, fair enough. And I just
it's weird the way we've kind of interacted with them, isn't it, over the years? Because they went up the year we didn't, then we went up. They had a good season, and we were up, and they were down, and they got Hecky, and we had Hecky, and they were actually talking at one point during the game about the ridiculous cyclical nature of managers. Because basically, they went up with Wilder, they went down, they got Heckingbottom, they decided he wasn't good enough, so they got Jukanovic. Then he wasn't good enough, so they got Heckingbottom. And now Heckingbottom's not good enough, so they're going to go back to Wilder. And it's like the whole thing, they've just come round in a complete circle.
Football completely lacks any imagination, doesn't it?
Yeah.
People just go. But just to close the thought out on the tweets. So obviously when we went down and they went up, the bookmarks got thrown back in our face, and I remember replying to one account saying, "Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. You've got us there. See you in 12 months to do it again, shall we?" And they said probably, but you never know. And it's like, yeah, we do, don't we? We know. And I couldn't even be angry. I just felt a bit of pity. And obviously I went back into my own bookmarks. I thought, is now the time off the back of an 8-0? I thought, do you know what? No. I'm just going to sit on this one.
What a bigger man.
Yeah.
Needless to say, you had the last laugh to yourself.
Hero is probably overstating it a little
bit.
And then
said it on the podcast so everyone else could hear it.
So so now you know we were right. Anyway,
so this is from the watch along. The first clip was a daft referee mistake. I don't know if you've seen it, but it very much Gordon handballs it basically.
Yeah. And the ball was very close to being out.
But it was the ball was in, but I think combined with the handball, you start to think, oh, give us something here. Yeah. So this is the first goal.
It falls into that's not fair territory.
Very much so.
And now I think the ball went out. It's 1-0 Newcastle.
Yeah, I thought the ball went out too. I haven't seen a replay.
Yeah, that's something out of nothing there.
Oh, and it hit his hand, and it went out of play. Yeah, they're going to call this back. It bounced off Gordon's hand. It bounced out of play.
Well, they should, but they're not. It's going to stay 1-0 Newcastle. This is if they don't chop this goal off, the stream's going to end right now because I'm just going to hit end stream because it hits his hand and the ball's over the line. That is clear as day, not a goal.
Yeah,
100%.
And they give it? How? Even the handball? I am shocked. We're playing football still, and it's 1-0.
So it was the case that a handball in the build-up to any sort of handball in the build-up to a goal ruled it out, but that's not the case anymore. And if it's not deliberate, then it doesn't get ruled out.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes it does, though.
Yeah.
I was going to say it was very... he took it all quite well to start with, like the way you concede a goal and just go, oh, that's something out of nothing.
It was almost like they expected it.
They were very much saying they were on top until this,
right?
Which is something he doesn't particularly pull it off, but he's trying to kind of hark back to the early decisions when the seventh goal's going in. You're like, well.
We've all been there. If we just had that penalty early on.
I don't know if it's a bit of the Neil Warnock DNA in Sheffield United still, that because we used to.
How did that get there?
We used to lose. We used to lose 4-0, and he'd come out and blame the referee for giving them a corner that they scored from, and you'd be like, "No, we didn't have any shots, at all." So maybe
change the game.
Yeah, he'd always give one of them, and you'd be like, "Well." Didn't change it. It just meant they scored at a slightly different point.
I mean, I made the subs to try and change the game. I took my mates off the bench, the ones who agreed to play for me. Should we move on to the next clip?
So this is just the goals going in all the way from 2 to 8. And they're on. They're in separate rooms while this is going on. So they've got slightly different streams as well. So one of them is always knowing about the goals at a slightly different time.
Ball comes in, back post, 2-0.
Yep.
This one is all over Danny Byrne with the goal. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is all over. All right, kids, what do you guys want to talk about for the next 70 minutes? Oh, boy, we have got a long way to go. Newcastle free kick. They'll probably get another one. That's 3. It's Botman with a goal.
And again, from a free kick that shouldn't have been given.
Yep.
This game, if anything, is 1-0 Newcastle, in my mind. I'm going to sound real sour for the next 60 minutes.
We're due a good hiding, aren't we? This one's going to be like 5 or 6 new. All right, Callum Wilson makes it 4.
Yeah.
And it is 4. 5! High fives! Oh, it's the handball himself.
Yeah.
I can feel
So maybe we were always going to lose this match, but that first half should not have been 3-0. It should have been close. We should be in this game, and I think because of that, we've just let ourselves fall out of this.
You know, you tell as it's 6. No, it's 6-0. We knew, everybody knew we were going to suck coming into the season. And it's like everybody's like, oh, Sakaki, he's terrible. The team's terrible. Like, we knew this was going to happen. Oh, it's 7 now.
7. Hey, did we catch up? Are we on the same time?
No, I still am waiting. I'm still waiting right here. I'm still waiting. Bang! There's 7. Oh, did they make it 8?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah, 8. 8.
I think it's their 8th different goal scorer, too.
Yeah, it's Isak. We're talking about you and me, baby. 8-0, baby.
8-0's a little much.
I did enjoy how it went from that kind of low-level anger and annoyance at certain decisions to by the end you're just singing.
Yeah. So, Callum Wilson scored.
I wanted to know where he was going when he started singing Phil Collins then as well. It didn't seem quite clear what he was going to do with that.
Yeah, he did a few little songs through it.
And was that Salt and Pepper? Let's talk about sex we got at the end there, yeah. Okay. Right, now then, Michael, where do we go from 8-0?
Should we have a bit of Chelsea fan TV?
I think we should. So, how are they getting on?
I did see that they've, I think of the last 35 games, they've averaging like 0.8 points a game. Is that right?
It would get them relegated in any season in the Premier League. It's mad, isn't it?
It's been £1 billion.
Honestly, I would probably give up a kidney to watch them go down this season.
Yeah, and going down as well with the 8-year contracts they've handed out to everybody, which will not have any kind of relegation, in fact, release clause in it.
Shall we all donate a kidney?
3 kidneys. Does anybody need 3 kidneys?
But no. How many have you got?
2, as far as I'm aware.
2, right? Yeah.
They come in pairs generally.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be glorious, and we know that it's a complete paper tiger, the whole PNS FFP, as we've seen with the way that the Premier League has handled Everton. It's taken so long; they've done nothing so far.
Chelsea have gone at this in spectacular
They've
fashion,
gone nuclear, haven't they? I think you know. There's a Wikipedia page for doing a Leeds. This would knock it into a cocked hat. This would absolutely smash it out of the park, wouldn't it? Because the EFL would be on them like flies on shit.
I mean, presumably they'd have to just fold the club because they can't. You can't afford to pay all those players, and an owner would have to go, fuck this,
shut it down.
I'm not going to pay that. I'll just leave.
And they can't sell them because nobody knows who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like there's a full-time tweet of like a graphic of one of their players, and I was like, genuinely no idea who that is.
Yeah,
it costs like £100 million.
I feel like I'm into year 10 of a champ manager save, and it's all regens, and I'm like, oh, there's someone who's worth £80 million there. I've never heard of them. But
it's Frank Messi. That kind of thing.
But anyway, this is Chelsea Fan TV. They're turning on Pochettino here anyway, and as they rightly should.
Yes.
I'm really encouraging it as well because I'm listening to it going, yeah, get on his back. Get right on his back.
Make it completely
get
toxic.
Him sacked, and then you can bring Lampard back.
Yeah. Or maybe Jesse, because, the American link up there might work.
Good shout. Well, Jesse I think is inspired their current tactics in a way, because we obviously had the penis formation with Warnock. We continued that with Jesse, but Chelsea doing something a little bit different.
And then you go to Pochettino, the most reactive pussy manager and tactics I've ever seen. Pussy mentality, pussy tactics, and it all goes back to the manager. 6-7 games in, I do not want to be isolating him this early. I want to be saying believe in him, give him a little bit of faith. The guy is bitch made from what I'm seeing.
I'm sorry, what's all this talk? Cat talk, first of all. What's bitch made?
Don't know, I had to look it up.
Right.
It's a derivative of tailor-made.
Right.
Meaning obviously high quality or well-crafted, with tailor being replaced by bitch to convey something that is something of inferior in quality or incapable of performing a certain task.
Right.
Never heard that before.
Bitch made.
Bitch made. And pussy, what do you think the pussy tactics are?
Cat formation. Lacks claws.
Pussy ball. Is that what you get?
Has claws. Santa Claus.
Yeah, okay.
I'm doing it again, just saying words that are coming into my head. I don't know. Oh, I'm glad they're having a shit time. It's good, isn't it? They're overdue it.
They really are. And the way they're all moaning now about the way they've spent this money, having had 20 glorious years off spending stupid amounts of money.
The stolen money of the Russian people.
Yeah, like Rory now. I've not got Rory in this because...
Don't give him the... Yeah.
But like the amount of times he said, we're just awash with all this disgusting...
Can you do it in his voice? Can you do it in his voice?
What is his voice?
It's very earnest. He talks
Chelsea
like this.
I'm in a crisis. Like this.
Yeah.
A small piece at a time. We're disgusting money that's washing around, which I didn't mind when it was the Russian money because we won stuff then.
Yeah.
And he hates that you have to change your manager all the time, which again, they used to do successfully. So it was fine when they did that.
And it worked.
Yeah. But now they're doing it and it's not working and it's not as good and it all needs changing.
Bad.
I like how they keep saying they need a rebuild. They just need a rebuild. And now they're saying they're short of options up front. It's like, lads,
spent £1 billion.
You spent £1 billion.
A fool and his money and all that.
Good. Anyway, should we move on to another club who's wasted about £1 billion and are still shit?
Yeah.
Johnny United.
Oh, super.
So last time we had him on...
I absolutely love this. I think this is my favourite thing on the internet.
We'll finish on a bit of Johnny then.
I've checked all the internet and this is my favourite thing.
So he was, last time around, who they lost to? I can't even remember. He was complete. Was it Arsenal? I can't remember.
Brighton, was it?
Brighton, maybe.
Brighton,
that was it. He was complaining about Bruno Fernandes. Then they lost to Bayern Munich, and he's still doing it.
He's not happy.
It's a fucking joke, man. Let me fucking tell you about fucking Bruno Rashford. Bruno, biggest fucking fraud ever. One of our worst signings in fucking history. Absolute fraud. The guy's a clown who belongs in a fucking circus, not in a Champions League fucking arena. He's fucking shit. Yeah, again, another big game, and he's a fucking ghost again. But I don't know football. I'm just a fake fan. I don't know what I'm talking about. You fucking got no ball knowledge, Johnny. No, you lot ain't got a fucking clue. You're living in fucking denial. I've been telling you about this guy for fucking 2 years. 2 years I've been telling you, and you don't fucking listen. Oh, but you'll come off mute when he fucking goes and gets a fucking few assists against fucking Luxembourg, won't you? The guy is a fucking fraud, and he needs to be fucking sold. I don't care. Fucking sell his ass. And Bruno Rashford, you're not fucking far behind him. We could have, first 20, 25 minutes to win the game. And what happens? We concede a goal, and our heads fucking drop. And when I say, can our big players rise? No, they fucking can't. They can't rise. They can't rise because they're not big players. They're big frauds, prima donnas, clowns, dickheads, man. Fucking, I've had enough of it, man.
I'm from the same city as Johnny United, and I struggle to pick up on some of what he was saying there. Such was his rage and his fury. That's great value.
So that was good. So that was midweek. Lost to Munich.
Do you know about what is denial?
What, sorry?
What is denial? He was talking about denial then. You're in denial. Do you know what denial is?
Is this a joke?
Yeah, it's a river in Egypt.
A river in Egypt, yeah. Very good.
Should we move on?
Very good. But Scum won at the weekend, didn't they?
They did.
so he's going to be happy.
Yeah, a heroic performance at Burnley, no doubt.
Yeah. So is he going to have maybe just have a game off?
Maybe, or an olive branch out to all the people who've been criticising him, saying you're wrong, you're a fake fan, saying no, we're all on the same side here. Anyway, let's have a listen.
Bruno Fernandes scored a really good goal
who
as well.
scored the winner?
Yeah. But I presume he's really glad.
And I've got people coming at me because Bruno scored a fucking goal. Don't get me wrong, his finish was fucking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic finish. His performance has been shocking. This team performance has been shocking. Absolutely abysmal. And people go, no, I haven't celebrated the goal to the win tonight. Why would I celebrate this? What's to celebrate? We've been shit. This is shit football. I know we've got some injuries, but still, this is Burnley away. They're going to get relegated. This is a poor team. And we fucking, a large part of tonight, we've been dominated by them. They played better football than us. This is not fucking good enough. It's fucking diabolic football, this. Honestly, you lot are fucking embarrassing. Find some fucking shame. This is not a fucking good team, and this performance ain't good enough against Burnley away. 1-0, whoopee fucking do. The performance was shambolic, man. And McTominay, yeah? Let me tell you about that guy. He might be the fucking worst academy graduate we've ever had. He's a fucking phony. He's a fucking other fraud. We got offered £30 million for him, you know, and we fucking said no to it. And he's still here. And not just that, he fucking walking against fucking Bayern Munich, getting out, run by a fucking referee, and manager's played him tonight. That's disgraceful. Absolutely disgusting by the manager, how he's fucking been on that pitch tonight, and he's stayed on as long as he has done. Nah, man, I'll be honest, I'm starting to look at this fucking manager funny. I really am. This is not fucking good enough. This is not Man United. Anyway, we've got the 3 points. On to the fucking next. Take care.
Super. I enjoy as well, like, he goes up through the octaves, peaks in the middle, and then comes back down again.
Sometimes he starts a video and he obviously like, right, do you know, I'm not gonna rant and rave today, but Bruno.
Yeah, within 90 seconds, he's furious. Brilliant.
Is Scott McTominay Man United's worst ever academy graduate? Because I had a little think of some of ours. Paul Rahubka, Cameron Borthwith Jackson, we had Scott Wotton, Cameron Stewart, even Danny Pugh had his moments, didn't he? So I think he's overacted there.
Yeah. And if you define him worse, I can think of other candidates that have come through that academy that are associated with that club, but you might want to bracket him with that.
Well, quite, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a discussion for a different day.
I like it how Johnny thinks everything's about him, though. He's like, I've got people coming at me. My enemies are after me.
As well, have some shame at some point, did he say? Enjoying a win.
He needs to realise that maybe people are winding him up on purpose. You know, like when people tweet him to say, nice goal by Bruno.
Yeah.
They're probably taking the piss for the most part.
They're coming at him,
because this happens every single week.
Well, it's been a jolly nice week, hasn't it?
Let's just keep winning.
Yeah. Winning does make everything a lot better, doesn't it?
If we can keep winning and Scum and Chelsea can keep losing,
yeah,
we're in for a fun season.
We'll wrap it up there then. More propaganda next week. We'll see you in a bit.
The Square Ball Podcast.